Drink it or dump it.
And like we didn't even get to talk about food. And
No,
all
we
the
didn't
food
talk
you
about
did.
food. I mentioned that you were working downtown, and I knew I met you as a customer, so then I came down there to see you a few times, and at one of the first
Original
of the
breweries. Shout out to all my rock bottom people.
I feel like this is a young bar, and sometimes it feels like it's been here forever. But we change things all the time. I mean, we're in a room that just got a redo, and so
crazy.
if I sit at the bar here, this has only been like this since last October.
Wow.
So to me, it's like I opened another location.
Another location.
Without opening another location.
Right. So now there's 3 locations under one roof.
I have had over the years, because we've been so successful and become kind of an iconic brand, people have approached me over and over and over about another
Opening,
location.
yeah.
Midway and O'Hare Airport have approached us. In fact, at one point, they wrote me a check for $5,000 just to consider it.
Wouldn't you say though that when you expanded
Next door, yeah.
next door into the LaDonna space, that was already extension beyond what you would have ever thought? I mean, I remember when it opened, it's kind of like when Van Halen got Sammy Hagar, and it's going to be crap. You automatically think, it's not the same anymore, but then it's even better. And there's the food menu is able to expand when you have the tiny pantry
terrible
of
kitchen.
a kitchen, where the coat room is or whatever's there now. And now the upstairs and then the outdoor patio. I mean,
We
it's
grew
a lot,
organically.
people don't
though.
understand how
because
hard that is.
we didn't do it all at once, and it was very organic. But I would say that the expansion into 5146 Clark was necessary because we were very, very busy. That 12 by 17 kitchen with 1 oven, 6 burners, it was just too small. People were waiting for an hour and a half for a table and then waiting an hour and a half for their food. So we were getting a really bad reputation. So the main inspiration was not adding more seats. It was, we need a new kitchen.
Right.
And there was no place in this building that could happen. It had to be next door. We were very fortunate that we had a next door that we could expand into. We bought it in 09, and 09, 10, and 11, there, banks stopped lending money. And in fact, the bank that was funding that went under. So we had to go out on the street in 2009, 2010, and I needed $1.6 million, and nobody would touch it. And so we were paying for a building that we bought, thinking it was going to provide more revenue, and we ended up waiting 3 years before it made a cent. And I actually considered and met with potential partners because I needed to be bailed out. Thankfully, there was an Obama-era SBA program that really did save us. And so I was able to do it without bringing in partners. And that kitchen, I mean, now, no matter how busy it is, if you order a bucket of mussels and or a sandwich or a steak or whatever you order, it's going to be chop chop.
What's your exit strategy?
So I turned 70 a year ago, January.
And whether or not you want me to keep this on video?
You can. I'm not quiet about it. I officially retired.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
So I am no longer on the payroll of Hopleaf Inc. Any profits earned at Hopleaf, I'm not in the bonus pool. I don't get dividends. The managers they can decide on bonuses, a rainy day fund. I am obviously going to help with that decision, but I'm not taking any of it. So how Louise and I make money from Hopleaf now, even though our name is still on, we're the corporation and everything.
The rent.
Rent. I own these 2 buildings. They are paid off. I charge market rent for a lot of space, and that's enough for us. And that's giving me some breathing room. So last year 2024 was an experimental year to see if that worked. Is that enough incentive to the salaried staff to make sure that we're profitable, to mind the store, to do the right thing? Will they do things the way that I want them done? And it kind of worked.
No.
Obviously, I'm 71 years old. No one lives forever. I would like to think that Hopleaf will continue beyond my lifetime. So how do we arrange that? Fortunately, at the same time that I'm about to turn 70 and putting together this retirement plan, Zingerman's Delicatessen, Ari is retiring. He retired, same, just like me. And he has a succession plan that got national news. I mean, it was the Wall Street Journal and all these articles about it.
Because he doesn't have kids. Right?
No, he does not have kids. He lives a block away. I don't even know if he drives a car.
Yeah.
So he was looking at what Patagonia did. The founder of Patagonia wants the business to continue. He wants it to reflect his values beyond his lifetime. And he's in his 80s. It's called a perpetual purpose trust, where the business it's owned by a trust. And we already did that. The Hopleaf, the business, the building, everything we own is in a family trust. In the case of Zingerman's, he used the same attorney in British Columbia that put together the trust for Patagonia to design one that reflects his values. He was quite generous with me. I approached him and I told him what was going on. And
he's like that. He'll tell you anything about how to succeed in everything that he's done.
He is. Amazing. And so I think in the long run, we will probably set up a trust like that. In the case of like Zingerman's, what it says is that there can never be a Zingerman's 2. No Zingerman's business can be outside the city limits of Ann Arbor. This is how we buy sustainable products. This is how we treat our employees. This is, all these kind of things are engraved in stone. Everybody that works at Zingerman's is able to buy 1 share of Zingerman's stock. That share can never be sold. It cannot be part of inheritance. It can only be sold back to Zingerman's. But once you have that share, you are in the profit sharing, and so that the dishwasher can be an equal shareholder to the CEO. I really like a lot of the things about it, but as Ari had indicated, every one of these perpetual purpose trusts has to be custom designed to your circumstance, your business. So we're working on that, and hopefully I'll live long enough to be able to work out all the details. There are people who really want to buy Hopleaf, and some of the people who have approached us are really good people who would do us proud. But at this point, I'm not ready to do that, and I may never be ready to do that.
Right.
But you don't know. A year from now, 2 years from now, my health, the health of the city, the health of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a really weird.
Yeah, you can never say never, like we were talking about earlier.
Right.
In the case of Larry Bell.
Right. And we don't know. I mean, I think that by accident, Andersonville turned out to be a really good bet. People ask me, how did you know? And I said, I had no idea.
No, when I moved in '95, it was like, it was all right. There were a few good spots, but I remember as the years went on, when the Gap was going to come in, I mean, people were in an uproar. They didn't want that, but
Changed.
I mean, yeah, it's been an incredible development. The neighborhood's fantastic, and it's
And it was an accident. It was
gamble.
it only happened because it was cheap. People don't know that I actually rented a space on Wilson across the street from where you were.
Oh, really?
So anyway, it fell through, and I
Right.
wound up, I lost tens of thousands of dollars. So that was one of several places that preceded
been the
this.
Hopleaf.
That could have been the Hopleaf.
And we would have been across the street neighbors.
You'd probably still be there because there'd be so much people in the neighborhood. As it turns out, totally by accident, not because I was a visionary. This turned out to be the best place in the entire city.
Well, I'll tell you, the 22 bus that comes through here is much better than the Wilson bus. So that's probably the key to your success you owe to the CTA.
So we feel, Louise and I feel very financially comfortable, but we're not in need of, I'm not buying a boat.
No?
No,
Oh,
no yacht.
I was hoping I could be your captain.
Yeah.
I got the shorts and the hat, the whole thing.
I'm still, I have a 21-year-old car. I think that one of the cool things is a chance to have something old like this, because during the pandemic,
You got rid of
I sold all of my, in order to survive, I sold all of our bottled beer. And I think in my cooler, I have maybe 4 or 5 vintage bottles. I have a 1996 Cantillon. I have a couple other things like that, but I really,
Why couldn't we open that?
and I didn't sell that because there's no label left on it. I can't sell
Which
it.
one?
The
I
Cantillon.
can't tell.
I know what it is.
Sure.
But, and there will, we're going to be maybe our 35th anniversary, or maybe our 50th. I'll save it for a little longer.
Just text me and let me know when that is. Have you seen people come through your doors, go and do their own thing in the bar world?
We have a
Fantastic.
very unique example of that, in that there is a Belgian guy who came to the United States, who's a software designer, and he lived here for 10 years and worked a computer job. And when he turned 40, his wife said, you really seem miserable. What do you really want to do? And he says, I want to go back to Leuven and open a little brewery. And he did. And he used to be, he was a real regular customer here. And he opened a brewery in Leuven that is tiny. It's in a residential neighborhood. They don't bottle or can. He brought some American ideas, including growlers, which do not
wow.
exist there, which the locals just love.
Have you been there?
Yes, I've been there a couple of times.
Nice.
And it's a friendly little neighborhood place, and he brews some Belgian styles. It's just him and his wife. They have no employees. But they brew some American styles that he became familiar with here at Hopleaf.
Oh, fantastic.
And Le Courrier is the brewery. It's also it's a bicycle-themed place, and so he has like bikes hanging from the ceiling, and
Oh, cool.
so it's
Does he
just
have an Eddie Merckx picture?
he doesn't have an Eddie Merckx picture, and he really should.
What are you eating tonight? What's your favorite thing on the menu right now?
So I would say that the chicken thighs are pretty outstanding. That we did something rather revolutionary in our kitchen this year. When we opened, I said, as we bring food in here, I don't want what does everybody have? They have pizza, they have mozzarella sticks, they have burgers. I'm going to open a place with none of those things. So everybody was saying, like, why don't you, like, it seems like a no-brainer. You'd sell 1 million. I said, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons I don't carry it, because if I have a hamburger, it's the only thing we're going to sell.
People aren't going to eat the mussels.
They're not going to eat the mussels, that Newski ham sandwich, the
CB&J.
all those other sandwiches. But our current chef was like, no, I really think we should have a hamburger, like a smash burger. and we'll use like really good beef and a good grind, and he convinced me to do it.
I cannot believe that you said yes.
And
When's did it start already?
oh yeah, and we're killing with it.
Really?
It is absolutely ridiculous. And as I suspected, the other sandwich sales just plummeted. But people, already we've been getting a lot of press for it. It's like the hidden, one of the top 5 burgers in the city. I did have some input. I said, if we're gonna have a hamburger, it needs to be mouth-sized. You
Right.
can't have 50 ingredients on top of it. There's not room for avocado and foie gras and all this other
No.
shit.
Okay.
It's a hamburger.
All right.
It's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna cave and put TV sets in.
I was going to say, there's a great beer called Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yes, a lot.
Our current chef, Cameron, is from a different generation. He's like 27.
Mhm.
His father was the chef at Longman and Eagle. Cameron Wentworth is his name, and yeah.
Jared is that?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
That's crazy. No pressure.
Yeah. A lot of pressure. Damn it, he has ideas, and one of his ideas was a smash burger.
I really owe so much to Michael at the Hopleaf, but mostly I want to say thank you for taking the time and sitting down with me. All right.
And
I'll try one.
he's absolutely correct that it's super, super popular.
Okay. Please like this story, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thanks for watching.